Another LIGS Talks is here. With me in the studio is Mr. Bill Reed, President and CEO of LIGS University. Bill, welcome.
Thanks for having me back, Peter. Glad to be here.
We are having a little chat about online education, and our next topic is AI and other trends in online education. First question I have is, what do you believe are the primary advantages of online education over the traditional classroom education?
Well, I think there's a couple of primary concerns. One is the availability. One is the freedom to learn when you want to learn and how you want to learn and where you want to learn. So much has been said about online world and providing answers to more current problems about locations, about availability of education. Online answers many of those questions. They're able to deliver the product to the person's living room and engage with skilled professors and other students who are also skilled in the areas and exchange ideas and share what otherwise may not have been shared due to restrictions by location.
Do you see, and where do you see potential for online education in the market?
The potential for online education has taken huge steps over the past 10, 15 years and will continue to make advancements. The availability of topics and the availability of areas of study has greatly expanded. I think that will continue to expand. I think the areas of general business will continue. I think the areas of information technology have huge advancements coming as new technology comes out that can bring in real-life experiences to the student and see the examples that otherwise may have been missed in more technical labs or similar situations of internships and things like that. The timing is now for that with the pace of our business world these days to be able to address these concerns in a way that's meaningful to the student, where the student can learn the skills they need, and we can deliver it almost anywhere.
Do you think it's more flexible?
I think it's more flexible, but we've added and continue to add higher quality to that flexibility. So that flexibility doesn't sacrifice quality.
How do you do that?
We do that by the professors we have presenting it. We use the technology that's coming out to help deliver these various learning modules. We have used the information and current information. Courses are updated currently. We at LIGS are currently going through a very large effort to update our courses and bring out the latest and current information to the learners in our system.
Do you think in this world there are barriers for online education? I mean, you need internet connection, basically, right?
Well, you need internet, and you need bandwidth, and you need all the technical things. But the number one thing you need is the ambition.
Okay.
We have overcome many of the technical restraints that have happened over the past 10 or 15 years. We're delivering learning now to people in countries that before did not have a good internet, for example. We can pretty much deliver learning to almost anybody who wants it now. There are still parts of the world where it's a little less desirable, but that issue has grown small and continues to shrink in importance.
How can you serve with those fixed programs that you have? How can you serve people from, let's say, Africa and people from, let's say, I don't know, United States?
Okay, the servicing the students is really the interesting and one of the huge benefits of online, because you can bring in the people from Southeast Asia, United States, Canada, Africa, Central Europe. And with that comes in the flavor of those people, meaning how they see things and how they interpret a particular concept or an idea. Recently, we would have a student sharing ideas about a business that they want to open in Africa. And someone from China is giving them ideas how they do it in China. Someone from the United States say, no, that's not how we do it. We do it this way. And then someone from Africa or Central Europe may have a different take on it. So it gives a global perspective on what might be a very local type business.
Let's talk about trends in general in online education. What do you think are the biggest ones?
I think the biggest trends that I see and that we've studied and our research will confirm is that students today don't want general knowledge. They want specific information, specific skills that will enable them to find a better career, improve their existing career, and better help their compensation and their rewards that they can bring home to their families or to themselves, whatever their situation is. I think the needs of institutions like ours need to change our focus to address what the student needs. A lot of times people may want to learn about a certain topic, but that topic may not help them in their life or in their work. Now, so much more has become very specific with the addition of so many specializations. We've seen it in work, we're seeing it in education, and I think that trend's going to continue.
Do you think we will get to a point where there will be people with, I don't know, 2 or 3 MBAs? Is it possible, do you think?
We have a number of that now.
Okay.
We have a number of people that I know have 2 PhDs. I think if properly constructed, meaning the program, you won't need 2. But if you wanted to, some people do it for the diversity of their knowledge and for their opening up the opportunities for themselves. We see a lot of people coming out of, just recently, of an example, coming out of medicine, for example, nurses and so on. They've been through the COVID pandemic and they work so hard and so many long hours. And they may not want to do that anymore, but they want to stay in helping people medically. So then you can get an MBA and become a manager in a nursing facility of some nature. So that's how it works, as a small example of how using your previous skills to enhance your future could be.
What about technology? I suppose this is a big trend also in online education, right?
Technology is nonstop. It is a blessing. It's good. I enjoy it. I like it. So many things we're able to do today that we weren't able to do 10 years ago. We're delivering our products now. We are changing our technology again to match the needs. I think the more and more that comes out in technology can only help us. And it helps the student ultimately to learn the materials.
Do you think artificial intelligence will play a role?
Artificial intelligence is playing a role today. The latest trends, the latest conversations, the latest and greatest is now focused on things like ChatGPT, OpenAI. It's all about artificial intelligence. I recently attended a conference. 75% of the material is focused on AI, what we're doing with it, what we can do it. So many people don't know what it is yet. This is just a new pattern that's emerging. It's reaching us now in education. It's been around for years. This is not necessarily a new technology, but it's a refined technology whereby the usability of it is so dramatically different and can help the students in so many ways, both positively and negatively.
Do you have some idea how it can be implemented? To be specific, I mean.
AI can be built into our course structures. We will be launching revised courses that will include certain features of AI to help use it. We will be using it to help manage our programs internally. By reporting through AI of various trends and so on, hopefully identifying trends earlier so that we can address those trends. That's from a business perspective. From the learner perspective, having access to so many more areas of expertise and so much more ability to learn through it, through the benefits of what it can deliver to the learner.
Do you think it can strengthen the programs?
I do. I think absolutely. I think, 25 years ago when I got into the online education, I thought we were maxed out with technology. And every 6 months, I changed my mind. Yeah. And now I will never say we're maxed out on technology because when I get back to the office, I don't know what's going to be there. We were all set to go one way with a program redesign. And almost instantly we saw a new technology and we reversed our plan.
So in general, would you say it's a good thing?
Of course.
I believe it.
I think change is a good thing in anything, providing it's beneficial and so on, and not of any ill intent. But yes, I think the learning we get out of this is enormous. I think the benefits are huge. It's like comparing the space program to what we do every day. People say, oh, I don't care what happened in space. Well, so much of what we do, microwave ovens came from the space program. Who knows what's going to come from artificial intelligence? So many things can. We'll just watch and see where it is. But we are definitely mindful of these trends. And not just AI. There's other learning patterns, skill sets that are changing. The skills we needed to teach 10 years ago, we have to change them. People are looking for different skills now. Understanding AI, for one. How many people have heard of it but don't know what it is? We're coming out with a product that'll help them with that. It's an enormous task to try to stay on top of technology. And we are definitely committed to it, and we're doing our best to keep up with it because it's so fast.
Can you name some of the skills that changed over the years?
Primarily in the area of hard skills, meaning what you work with, computers. I'm not too familiar, but about every field I can think of, somebody has to know how to use a computer. If you're a dental assistant, you have to use a computer. If you're a mechanic, you have systems now that diagnose and to read codes to you. That's not new at all. But college presidents, I look at computers all day for reports and all this. I mean, it's so widespread. It's just everywhere. You know, I had a relative once, many years ago. He had bought a laptop computer, and he didn't like it. He says, I'm not gonna keep going with that laptop. I said, yeah, you're probably right. It's just a fad. It's not going to catch on. Well, if you don't have a laptop or a smartphone today, I don't know what you do anymore. It's just become so engulfed in our society and in our way of working.
Those are hard skills. What can you say about, let's say, soft skills, selling, communication?
Amazingly, it applies to soft skills as much, if maybe even more, in helping understand the communication issues, understanding the people. Organizational behavior has never been one attached to IT historically, but it is now. There are studies that are coming out. There are technology that are analyzing such things. Artificial intelligence is in that group. They have ways of understanding patterns that we haven't been able to understand before. So the ability to use new technology is really incumbent and needed by the person wanting to increase your income or increase your skill set. It's part of life now.
Well, it's evident that the schools have to change, right? But from the student perspective, aren't you worried about cheating, let's say?
Cheating is a big problem, and I tie that into the issue of quality. We have various programs that we use to check for cheating. One of the latest events out there that we're monitoring is AI, OpenAI and ChatGPT.
Yeah, it can write an essay for me.
And they're excellent at it.
Yeah.
They're very good. And we're following that with the security people. And they are identifying ways to check that now. So the student who 2 weeks ago got AI to write them a paper, many institutions are implementing checking software where they're not going to be able to do that in another few weeks. It's changing. They haven't finalized it yet, but for every action, there is a reaction. And someone who wants to use it for an improper way, there's going to be a way to figure it out, how to make sure that doesn't happen. Because in our world of academics, you have to instill the skills into the person. You can't instill those skills into their phone or into their computer. It has to be in the person. Because when that person goes for a job interview or applies for whatever, a better position, they're going to have to sit down, much like you and I are sitting today, and the person's going to have those skills. And if it's in their phone, it's not going to help them. So the training, the education, the learning goes on. I think it was Thomas Edison who once says, never let education get in the way of learning. And that is so true, because we can help educate them with technology, but the learning is instilled. The learning must be there, and the skill sets must be there to handle those questions that we don't know are questions yet.
Well, follow up to that, because is this kind of behavior still cheating? I mean, if ChatGPT, let's say, write an essay for me, is it still cheating?
I think so. If you're in one of our classes, and Peter, please write us a case study on this case, on how so-and-so company handled a problem. And if you go to ChatGPT and say, how would we handle this problem? And if that particular action generates 3 or 4 pages of response, that's nice, but that's not Peter's answer. So I grade ChatGPT very well. But what does Peter know of that?
Yeah.
So if Peter sends that paper in with his name on it, that's misrepresentation. And that is a violation. That is plagiarism.
How would you recommend to put it in a good use? Let's say the AI.
I wish I had all the answers to that question. The availability of information and the ability to recall it instantly from multiple databases is really, really astonishing. And I think the benefits will be in that area, accumulating data faster, research faster, drawing conclusions faster. It's always, everyone has their own style about decision making. I'm always a believer that before I try to decide something for LIGS University, I want to be sure I'm about 80% correct. Artificial intelligence will give me that 80% much faster.
Yeah.
And maybe it's right, and maybe it's not all right, or maybe it's going to change by the time we implement it. But the ability to move quicker in areas will be definitely a benefit to the AI movement.
So if I understand correctly, you are saying AI is great for, let's say, supportive work. It should support.
AI is another tool that a student can use to further their knowledge and their skills.
Okay.
Absolutely. And it could be a very good tool. It could be one of the biggest tools in the last 15 years. But we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like you mentioned, there has to be checks to it as well.
Yeah.
There have always been that. I mean, since I've been in it, we've been concerned about people plagiarizing. It's not new. The tools are different, but it's still the same issue.
Is there some advice maybe that you would give to, let's say, a student that would like to go to LIGS University? What kind of program should he or she be focused on? It's those. Is it the niche programs that we were talking about? That there's let's say there's a future in them.
Yes.
Is that it?
I think in the business world, which is what LIGS concentrates on, there's a number of areas we can do that, and that is what's next for the manager. What's next for the CEO? What's next for people in decision roles that have to decide how to set up your business, your company, for what's going to happen in 2026, 2027? We can't answer those questions because we don't know those questions, but we can instill the skill sets, the analytical skills to address it as appropriately as we know how today. That, to me, is one of the big issues of the future of business education, which we are addressing, and we will have some major announcements about that in the coming weeks. We will be coming out revising an MBA program to accommodate this the future idea, the future of learning, more on critical analysis, more on the use of technology in management. We've already done this, but we have to do it again because technology has taken such leaps in the last few years. And the growth of it I can't determine when that's going to stop. I don't think it ever will.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your time.